Alright, Steven, Top 10 isn't what I really had in mind, but it's okay. I mean, at least you did something on your own. But what do you have planned next?
I was thinking Swan Princess.
Are you serious?
Well, why not? It's got one of the best princess love songs as far as I'm concerned, and it was one of those great princess movies of the 90s that, as far as I'm concerned, doesn't get enough attention. I think people should know about it.
But it's based off Swan Lake, a ballet. It's girly enough being a princess movie, but a ballet? I don't think you have enough credibility to review this film.
Look, Tyler, this is something I believe in, so with or without your support, I'm doing it.
Well, I do not. So good day.
Wait, what? No! He bailed on me again. You know what? It's okay. I don't need Tyler. I can do this one on my own. How hard could it be? I guess it's time to call in one of the reserves.
My gosh. If you read this backwards, it's about Jack the Ripper. Hello? Why, naturally. I can be right over. Well, it's about dang time.
The Swan Princess is a fairy tale based on the ballet Swan Lake. When talking about all the great princess movies of the age, I feel like this one gets the shaft far too often, probably because it wasn't made by Disney. So, we're taking a look at it today.
And since he doesn't know jack about the ballet, I'll be here to tell you a few key ways in which this movie royally screws up the story.
So our story, like many princess stories before it, starts off in a kingdom.
Once upon a time, there was a king named William,
who in his youth was known as the Fresh Prince.
where he was growing old and had no child to inherit the throne. Then, happily, a daughter was born.
The arms handing over the baby are all you'll see of William's wife.
Kings and queens came from all around to offer their gifts to the child. Among them was the widowed Uberta and her young son, Prince Derick.
And in about 6 years, when he and Odette formally meet for the first time, he will look exactly the same.
Am I the only one who thinks that Odette already looks like a 6-year-old in that crib?
William and Uberta happened upon the same idea. Derick and Odette would be brought together each summer in hopes that they would fall in love and join their kingdoms forever.
Here's an idea. If the king and queen want to unite the kingdoms, why don't they just marry each other?
Because then Derick and Odette would be step-siblings and there'd be no love story to speak of. And this is a princess movie. Give the program.
But unknown to all was another plan. That of the evil enchanter, Rothbard. For he was preparing to take William's kingdom by means of the forbidden arts. On the eve of his assault, William attacked, and Rothbard's powers were plunged into darkness.
You've got to be kidding me. Potions have nothing to do with a wizard losing his powers. I'm serious. Wait till later in the movie when he actually does use them.
I'm not finished with you yet, Willie. Someday, I'll get my power back. And when I do, everything you own, everything you love, will be mine.
Out of your corner, you evil rapscallion.
So that we can shoot you without any trouble.
They're not shooting him, he's being banished.
Oh, Ashley. Lesser crimes than conspiracy to murder have deemed execution as a suitable punishment. Besides, they were competent enough to catch him. It's not like they're just gonna let him go.
Many feared King William too kind. But in time, the threat was forgotten.
You have got to be kidding me.
Well, apparently they weren't confident enough to know that there's more to magic than potions. At long last, the main characters are formally introduced. And as predicted, they haven't aged a bit since birth.
Yuck. I can't believe I'm stuck with her all summer. Oh, but she doesn't wrestle, hunt, or box. He looks conceited when it's total bummer. If I get lucky, I'll get chicken pox.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present Lifelong Character Development, the musical. Although I do find quite a few problems with the lyrics. Care to tell them, Ashley?
Gladly.
Derick's quite a catch.
But he's 10.
She tries to talk me into playing dress up.
But they're teenagers now.
I think you really sorta like her, fess up. I'd like her better if she'd lose at cards. 4 7s and a 10.
I think I'd won again.
Every time she's won.
Did you see that? They're cheating, but they're doing it wrong.
After all the awkward stages of childhood, they're forced together yet again.
She started out as such an ugly duckling, and somehow suddenly became a swan.
Foreshadowing. And the love finally works.
And then comes the most shameless bandwagon of all time. Suddenly, the kingdom starts chanting with glee that this was their idea, as if they had come up with the idea to arrange the marriage of Derick and Odette.
Arrange the marriage.
Didn't they already do that?
You're all I ever wanted. You're beautiful.
Thank you. But what else?
What else?
Is beauty all that matters to you?
Ugh, I can't watch this.
Oh, come on. It's too early in the movie, so of course he's gonna screw it up. But really, how bad could it be?
What else is there?
What an idiot. What kind of idiot would say that to a woman? I know that arranged marriages with little real merit of love were common, but of all the things to say. You know what? The movie knows how stupid that line was, so I'm going to let it tell you on its own.
You should write a book. How to offend women in 5 syllables or less.
All of these years of planning. Wasted!
Not if you had just married William, you dummy.
Well, what about Odette's mother?
As far as this movie is concerned, she handed Odette off to William and was never seen again. So he could have married you, Berta.
Well, hey, come on. This movie has much stupider things to offer than that. Like this.
Your turn, Prince Derick.
I didn't know what else to say. I'll prove my love. Checkmate.
You're doing it wrong! How could you possibly do cheating wrong?
So in defeat, Odette, her father, and his men set off back to their own kingdom when a familiar face shows up.
Today's the day, Willie. Everything you own, everything you love, will be mine.
Derick is alerted and he goes off to find a dying William, who says that a great animal kidnapped Odette and killed his men before he kicks the bucket.
It's not what it seems. What's not? Where is Odette? Is gone. Odette!
The one girl I lost my only chance with is gone.
We pan up to reveal something special behind a waterfall. Odette! Everything is behind a waterfall nowadays. You think more people would look there. Rothbart has cast a spell, turning Odette into a swan and finally making sense of the movie's title. The spell has her as a swan by day and human by night until she can break it. We'll get to that part later. Anywho, Rothbart has a proposition for her.
If I marry the only heir to the throne, we'll rule your father's kingdom together, legally, king and queen.
Oh, wow. If it weren't for the diabolical number of murders that Rothbart's already committed, I'd say we had him all wrong.
He's definitely looking like a better match than Derick. If we're looking at the proposals alone...
We'll rule your father's kingdom together, legally.
What else is there?
Yeah, I'd say we had a definite winner.
Derick, meanwhile, is... Well, once again, I'll let the movie speak for me.
Day after day, all the prince ever does is practice, practice, practice.
Because he wants to find the great animal so that he will be prepared to slay it and rescue Odette.
Good job, Derick. Hopelessly pursue the girl who dumped you after you were a complete and total retard. Good for you.
Then we meet some animals, for some reason.
But they were in the ballet.
Yeah, actually, I kind of figured that out for myself, thank you.
But in the ballet, they were swans.
Ashley... Oh, you know, that actually makes a lot of sense.
Well, duh, hence the title Swan Lake, some detective you turned out to be.
Hey! But instead we get Jean-Bob the Frog and Speed the Turtle. Ironic?
Jean-Bob believes he is a prince who is merely waiting for the kiss that will break the spell upon him. Speed uses awesome sarcasm.
Mind if I point out a problem?
Yes, I do. That's what we're doing. They're company to Odette, who would otherwise go insane from loneliness. How'd she learn to talk to animals, you may ask? I'd say it's a side effect to being a swan.
But then how can she talk to them when she's human?
It's, experience, telepathic... It's magic?
But the magic in this movie makes no sense, as evidenced by this.
I can only kiss the man I love, and then he
Must make a vow of everlasting love. I know.
and prove it to the world.
That's not a spell breaker, that's the fine print to getting out of a finely constructed contract.
If I could break this spell, I'd run to him today.
And then we get to the part that makes me believe this movie should not be overlooked. This love song.
Derick, you and I were meant to be.
I'm no expert of song construction, but I can safely say that this is a pretty song. I mean, it's one of the very few I remember from my childhood. And I really think that it shows the message that this movie is... Screw it! Far longer than forever, as constant as a star.
Stars aren't constant at all! Astronomy fail!
Ashley, I consider myself a man of professionalism most of the time. As such, I don't break into musical numbers that often. So, would you kindly not ruin this moment for me?
But it's a simple principle of science!
Ashley.
Okay, fine.
Far longer than forever,
Far longer than forever,
I swear that I'll be true.
I swear that I'll be true.
I've made an everlasting vow to find a way to you. Far longer than forever, like no love ever known.
And with your love,
I'll never be alone.
So, what do we do now?
I guess we just go back to doing the review. You're not a bad singer.
Oh, thanks. You neither.
An arrow-struck puffin bird named Puffin, how creative, descends upon them. Odette removes the arrow and gains his favor.
Me name is Puffin, Lieutenant Puffin. I owe you, Princess, and I intend on staying until me debt is paid.
Rothbart doesn't stop trying to woo Odette despite constant rejection. You gotta admire her spunk. How long has she been in captivity and under that spell?
I can't tell. Nobody ages in this movie.
Really starting to bug me.
I should think you'd be used to it by now.
That's it! Just keep pushing it. But someday, I'm gonna boil over!
Go ahead then, but I'll never give you my father's kingdom.
It looks as if you need another day to think about it.
Yeah, that's how I'd react after who knows how long of trying to accomplish my lifetime goal. Just wait till tomorrow. Procrastination at its finest, folks.
Meanwhile, Uberta is trying to set up Derick with some other princess.
One of these is bound to change his mind.
I don't know. He sang a whole song about it. I'm pretty sure he's serious. Derick, to prepare more, is reading a lot.
Well, with his brilliant proposal, I had no idea he could read.
Ashley, you've mentioned that so many times. I think it's just as stupid as you do. But why don't you leave the rest of those references for me and let it go?
Maybe I will, if he stops being a complete and utter idiot.
An animal that can change its shape. A harmless creature approaches. Then, suddenly, it's too late.
Fine, it's a start. This is followed by Odette and her animal friends plotting to get a map that will lead them out. I'm surprised she hasn't already thought of this. I mean, Rothbart isn't locking her up and she's a swan by day. That seems like an ample opportunity to try to escape. She's as dumb as Derick is.
So they storm the castle for the map. Now what I could show you is the scene, unaltered, with another staple song of the Swan Princess series, No Fear. But given that this scene showcases a lot of sports, I'm going to show you a sports montage instead. Enjoy!
Let's get ready to rumble!
At long last, we get Derick going on a hunt for the great animal. Bromley tags along. And now I must rant. We haven't touched on Bromley a lot, but he's been a lifelong pal to Derick and is even accompanying him on the hunt for the great animal. Unfortunately, this means next to nothing, seeing as Bromley is a spineless coward. Observe. For those of you saying, well, that's where character development comes in, keep praying, you poor, pathetic fools.
Odette finds them hunting in the most probable way possible. Bromley fires a doozy.
Where did that come from?
Derick, he's here.
How do you know it's that, Derick?
A swan? A swan. Of course. It's not what it seems.
He's going to shoot her? Oh, I can't watch.
I know how you feel. This scene actually holds some pretty good tension to it. I mean, he has no idea who he's shooting at. Thankfully, Puffin can actually practice what he preaches really well.
Now, when the archer has you in his sights, fly into the sun and use its light. Follow me!
Even with Derick being the ninja that he is and the fastest setting sun in history, Odette gets to the lake quickly enough.
Derick is ecstatic to break the spell as soon as Odette tells him how, But for as good a hunter as he has an issue with taking direction and sensing danger.
Go!
Odette?
Go!
Get the heck out of there, man! It's dangerous! You're of no use to her dead, you moron!
Rothbart, surprisingly not an idiot, has figured out what Odette's plan is. Fun enough, he doesn't even need to try and stop her because...
But you won't be able to attend the big ball tomorrow night. There is no moon.
You really do have to hand it to this guy. As silly as he may come across, he's pretty devious.
No joke, even nature is on his side, it seems. Not to mention the diabolical part of the spell that hasn't been revealed yet.
The diabolical part? What part of this spell is
The
not...
most diabolical.
And get Derick to offer his vow to the wrong princess. Because when he makes his vow to the wrong girl, Odette will die.
Oh.
See? But, wait a second. That's counterproductive to everything he's been trying to do for the past several years to try to get Odette to marry him. And now he's just dropping that for some
What the hell is that?
Up till now, I've pulled my punches. I intend to eat their lunches.
Okay. Wow, Rothbart, wow, how diabolical of you. You've been planning for 20 years to rob people of their midday meals.
No, Mr. Nice Guy, not for me.
Then Derick starts making preparations for the ball to be specific to the news he brings, though he's keeping it mostly under wraps to everyone else.
I don't want red roses. I want white, like a swan. Would you feed this to a swan? Take it back. Something light, something fresh.
Prince Derick, I heard what you were saying about the planning for the ball. You said, like a swan, I believe it was, so here's what I brought for dinner. A swan!
After asking about Bromley, though I don't think anyone's really missing him, he announces that he has chosen a wife. His mother is so ecstatic that she doesn't care that Derick has both ruined her ball plans and subsequently ruins her hair by dunking it in punch. He keeps secretive of exactly who he's engaged to.
Don't worry, Mother. You'll know. Believe me, you'll know.
She will attract the attention of everybody in the room with her beauty. Like a swan. Rothbart locks up Odette, finally, and also Bromley, who got lost in the woods and got captured. Which is brilliant, because this means he's out of the way doing nothing useful. So basically the same, only in a dungeon.
The ball goes off without a hindrance, and we're briefly treated to the princesses showing themselves off. As diverse and interesting as the designs are, they serve no purpose, because we all know Odette, who he's engaged to, is still trapped. Thankfully for Odette's sake, her animal friends turn out to be not useless, unlike some other people we know.
Are you upset because you can't talk about the proposal anymore, so now you're just focusing all your anger on Bromley?
It's perfectly justified, isn't it? I mean, look at this scene where they're escaping.
Snail, what are you doing? No, get away!
Then Odette has to hurry so that Derick does not make the vow of love to the wrong girl, aka the hag Bridget who is posing as Odette.
But it's too darn late.
I make a vow of everlasting love.
Derick!
To Odette.
Wait, what?
No!
Wait, but no! He said Odette! You clearly heard him say that he made the vow of love to Odette. It doesn't matter what physical body is standing there. He made the vow to the right girl. At least in The Little Mermaid, when they changed it for suspense, Eric was actually under a trance and was marrying a disguised Ursula who was trying to sabotage Ariel. In this, he clearly says Odette. Odette! Not Bridget. He kissed her. He made the vow before the world. Spell broken. The end!
Ashley, are you okay?
No! Nothing about this makes sense! Who is responsible for this?
No more Mr. Nice Guy. No siree.
Oh, now I see what the point of that song was. It was so he could walk in like a boss for a reprise. But it still makes no sense!
Derick rides through the set of the Sleeping Beauty climax. We briefly cut to Bromley to remind the audience how useless he's being right now, and demands Rothbart fix what he's done.
Now do it! Only if you defeat me.
And then Rothbart turns into the great animal, proving it's not what it seems, completely wrong. The villain turned out to be the villain. It's exactly what it seems! So then they fight for a bit, in which Rothbart's random acts of mercy are now starting to confuse me.
For a guy who is so evil, he just has too many traits that outline him to be, underneath, not such a bad guy. Still, what does he mean by defeat? He's a great animal. Animals have much more stamina than human beings. Plus, he's magical. There's no way Derick can just defeat him unless something shows up to...
I'm actually going to do something for once.
We're going to take a short break because you guys do not want to witness the explosion that's about to take place. Ashley, you gotta breathe. Just take it easy, deep breath. Feel better?
Sure.
So, Bromley shows up and proves that he has a point at being in this movie. Derick rushes to the side of his dead love and cries about it for a bit.
I love you. Your kindness and courage. I always have.
Really, Derick? Okay, Ashley, you can have one more.
Yeah, you might have mentioned that before, Derick, that you love those things about her. But no, you said this.
What else is there?
Man of the Year, folks.
Derick?
Wait a minute. Is she...
Odette?
Oh, Derick.
Killing Rothbart just brought her back to life.
So this crazy spell not only turns people into swans, but breaking it reverses death.
What's more, if killing Rothbart breaks the spell, then there's no need for that fine print contract that people would have to fulfill in order to break it. Killing Rothbart, in theory, would be easier.
So we finally approach the end of the movie, where Odette wears a dress, you guessed it.
Like a swan.
And Bridget is a flower girl for some reason. Apparently all of her dastardly deeds as Rothbart's flunky have been forgiven. Well, good. Now she can serve as our pointless Deus Ex Machina in the next movie.
That was a good one.
That wasn't a joke.
Oh God, why?
So Jean-Bob, for all his valiant efforts, gets that kiss from Odette at last, which is apparently laced with LSD. But it doesn't work. Just don't tell him that until the next movie. And finally, an eternal vow is made over a lake of live action water suddenly. And that's the end.
I take it back. I take it all back. I see why this movie faded into obscurity. Despite having that really nice love song, there's just so much about it that doesn't hold up very well at all. My disbelief can only be suspended to a certain extent, and Swan Princess just pushes those boundaries way too far. The characters don't make logical decisions. The magic's rules in this movie don't make sense. Clearly, when they were translating the ballet, they made some major foul-ups as far as making it kid-friendly. And Ashley's gonna tell us all about it.
It's true. There were a few things that were kind of important. First off, the ballet was called Swan Lake, a major reason being that the animals Odette kept company with were swans. The bigger difference is the vow of love. In the ballet, Derick, who is called Siegfried, and Odette have never met each other before. He goes after a swan, following it to the lake before aiming, but he can't shoot it because he finds something mysterious and beautiful about it. When it lands on the lake, he finds out that it turns into a girl, Odette. With that, he has fallen in love and is prepared to do what it takes to break the spell. Rothbart, meanwhile, is actually in love with Odette. He also has a daughter named Odile who looks a whole lot like Odette. So to prevent Siegfried from having her, Rothbart locks up Odette and sends Odile in her place. When she and Siegfried meet up, she tells him that her name is Odile. Since they barely met, Siegfried can accept that maybe he got the name mixed up. So he falls for it and, unlike in the movie, legitimately makes a vow to Odile, not Odette. As a result, Odette really does die.
A major, major failing indeed. And that's without the plot holes that we're about to present. They got along really well, so why didn't Uberta marry William to unite the kingdoms? Odette's mother, I guess, wasn't officially dead. Also, it would have made Derick and Odette step-siblings. But it wouldn't have mattered because if Derick goes off to find a girl and marries, he's king. Odette is a princess. The end. Why would Rothbart, after years of plotting to marry Odette to conquer William's kingdom, resign to a plan that would result in her death? I don't think it works. Rothbart wasted a lot of time on Odette, trying to get her to marry him so he could rule without any conflict taking place. But then he just throws it out because of a vow of love? Why not just go great animal on the palace, freak everyone out, and kill Derick? That'd leave one kingdom without an heir and ripe for the picking. What's more, let's go along with the fact that Rothbart lost his powers, supposedly, and needed a lot of time to recover them. After killing William, he left the throne empty, and the kingdom was probably in chaos. I know Rothbart wanting the kingdom was a personal thing because William banished him, but it would have been nice to see what a great power that kingdom was, because it would have raised the stakes for why Rothbart could want it even more.
On another note, would it have really killed them to not be cheap and put even a note of Tchaikovsky into this movie?
Yeah, movie. Way to leave the source music, the ballet, completely out of the movie.
Yeah, even the Barbie Swan Lake movie actually had the music in it.
You hear that? The quality of this movie is taking a backseat to Barbie. That is a serious issue.
This is a disgrace.
Okay. I think I'm good.
Yeah, I think I got it all on the table too.
See you next time for Swan Princess 2?
I hope you're ready to watch paint dry.
By this movie, I think the sequels are going to make me claw paint off of the walls.
We're off on a mission. We're tough in good condition.
We're sure.
We're standing tall.
No fear.
There's danger around us.
They'd hurt us if they found us. Our backs are to the wall.
No fear. 'Cause we have all